What's good? What's good? Happy Friday and all that. We back with another live. I'm about 60 seconds late. I don't like that. Shout out to the whole chat, everybody on the way in. We have to get our Friday news coverage off. Y'all see the title, Keefe D trial, self-snitching evidence submitted. We're going to start there. I want to take a look at a new witness that hit the stand. And they pretty much brought up some old evidence that they're using against Keefe D. I mean, we saw this angle coming. I'm still gonna, be very, very curious to see if the defense uses like a clout chasing, he didn't really mean it type of angle to try to get him out of this. But yeah, it's being introduced, and it's like several documentaries, I believe, and the producer of these videos is taking the stand. So let's see if he pretty much constitutes like the validity of these videos to the jury. After that, we have some brief Lil Durk updates. They still are in jury selection today. So we got a couple little small details that came up yesterday, some jury selection updates that came up today, but not too much fireworks. I mean, actually, I did see a report that said the Lil Durk trial could start at 2 p.m. today, which would be pretty much like right now if jury selection was finished, being that we're about 5 p.m. Eastern right now streaming with y'all. And they're out there on Cali time. So yeah, it could be starting right now if they finished all of that was going on. I doubt it, because there was even some controversy about the jury selection that I heard. So part of me feels like Monday. All right, but we'll see. We'll see. And we'll probably even take a quick glance at some updates from one of the reporters coming directly out of the court for the Durk trial. So we'll see where we're at. After that, I have BMF. I have Carmelo Anthony. I have Chris Brown. And I got All-Star JR. So we got some updates, okay? I'll start real quick news update. And if this is true, you don't want to be early with news of one's potential passing, of course, right? Didn't that happen recently? The reports came out on all the big platforms. They were saying that somebody passed away, and then his daughter came out and said, no, he's still alive. But then hours later, she then confirmed that he actually did pass. I feel like it happened within the last 2 weeks. I'm very surprised. My memory is drawing a blank. I know the chat's going to hold me down in a second. But I did see this. This is already posted on Say Cheese TV. This was hours ago that this was posted. And I saw some other posts that said he was in the hospital. So either way, we hope that he has survived this potential heart attack. If not, of course, we are going to give our condolences to QCP, all his loved ones, all his family. You're talking about people that's behind the careers of the likes of Little Baby, And I know he had his back and forth in public disputes. His name was brought up heavily in a lot of the mix of the Young Thug and that stuff, but we don't need to get into any of that negativity stuff right now. I was just pretty much drawing on that reference for anybody that's like, wait, QCP, I remember that name. He's one of those big deal name heavyweights behind the scenes at like a record label level, so to speak. So hopefully he has survived these reports. And if not, once again, of course, condolences, okay? Hold me down real quick in regards to, Alley Boy. Yeah, somebody that I listen to damn near religiously in the gym. Alley Boy. And once again, condolences to Alley Boy. But yeah, so we always want to, leave that disclaimer. You don't want to be early with somebody's passing news, of course, but there's different reports that's going around on pretty significant platforms. So I still want to bring that to y'all. All right, let's get going. Okay, let's lift it up. It's Friday. Let's lift it up, everybody. All right, let's go straight to Keefe D. The last couple of days we started with Lil Durk, but since once again it's mostly just jury selection, we're going to start with Keefe D. He's well into his mix over there. So let's get right into this witness that took the stand. And when y'all see the thumbnail talking about self-snitching evidence, this is what we're discussing. And look, it's actually still live. You see their chat going? This court is still in session for the Keefe D trial today, I believe. So, all right, let's go.
Judge, I have the sizzle reel marked as state proposed exhibit 120. I would offer it at this point.
Any objection, Mr. Swift?
No objection.
It'll be admitted.
You can switch it on to me.
Only one in Keefe D days, I was a confident, kingpin drug dealer. I'm the only one alive that really can tell you the story about the Tupac tale. People have been pursuing me for 20 years. Newspapers, magazines. I'm coming out now to tell the story because I got cancer. I got nothing else to lose. All I care about now is the truth. This story starts in the streets of Compton, all the way to the streets of Las Vegas. Tupac was killed that night. All the people that was in Vegas that weekend, it's like a curse. Everybody's dead or got life in prison. It was a crazy night, and I was a witness to it. Everything that happened. And it will surprise you the truth I got to tell.
Oh, my bad. I don't think y'all heard that last one. I was saying, mind y'all, people, we're not playing like a documentary. This is the live stream from the court. This is the video that's actually being played in the court session.
It's a
His face.
Of Death Row Chronicles, did you, well, I guess, who named it Death Row Chronicles?
I think I did.
Okay. So the documentary you wound up creating was Death Row Chronicles.
Yes.
And did it air on a station?
Yeah, it was on BET.
And BET is a network.
Yes. Black Entertainment Television.
And how many episodes ran?
We did 6 episodes, roughly an hour each.
And prior to episode 5, is there any audio or video that was produced or shown to the public of Mr. Davis?
I think he's in it very briefly in a little promo that we show at the very beginning of the series, perhaps. I don't remember exactly. And he was also there to talk a little bit about Suge. They grew up together.
Do you, when you get to episode 5, is that the point where you're about to tell, I guess episode 6, is that when you tell the story of?
Right. So the series really looks at the entirety of Death Row Records history, from the very beginning with Suge Knight. We introduced.
I don't think I've seen it.
Dre,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Etc. And then when we get to episode 5, we really delve into, well, a little bit in episode 5, but mostly in episode 6, we really delve into the investigation. We wanted to update the public as to where the investigation had been up to that point.
And within those episode 5 and episode 6, is Mr. Davis seen, or some of his interviews with you released to the public?
Yes.
In addition to the fact that Mr. Davis is on there, did you have access to the 2008 proffer recording?
I did.
And so when you produced episode, in particular 6, are there times when Mr. Davis is on the screen and other times when you're using the proffer to tell the story?
Yes. Yeah, we alternated between the interview that I conducted with him and the audio from the proffer that he did in 2008.
Judge, I have marked as State's Proposed Exhibit number 123, just the clips that involve Mr. Davis, either face or voice, from episodes 5 and episode 6.
Okay.
I offer this to close it this time.
Any objection? You may.
Go ahead and submit that. Let's see. Bring them screens back in play. Oh, here we go. Right. Yep.
That him actually speaking to you, or is that cut in from the 2008 proffer?
I believe that's the 2000.
Want me to play it again?
Yes.
Let me pause this real quick. I wanted the absolute definition in the background. A proffer agreement, sometimes called the Queen for a Day agreement, is an arrangement where a person under investigation meets with prosecutors and provides information while receiving limited protections concerning how their statements can later be used against them. So that also clears up a lot of confusion as to how did he give statements to the authorities in the past that he was involved in Tupac's murder, yet he's walking around. Queen for a day. All right.
Probably come the interview with me.
When you say the interview with you, the sound is not the same as when he's walking down the street.
Correct.
I guess you should ask that question.
Yes, correct. So he's there. It's like a little preview, you know, but you're going to get later essentially. So we keep it's just his feet to create a sense of mystery. The audio comes from the actual interview that I conducted
In 2017.
Correct.
It's called production, man. Move on.
That's clearly in the studio, both with the two different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Is it the same studio?
Yeah.
Is it the same interview?
Yeah. Who's this guy for? Oh, he don't give a fuck. You didn't work with this man before, man. He up there like he's happy to be there. I don't think he gives two shits about Keefe D, them facial mannerisms and whatnot he's giving off.
Okay, you ready?
I can tell you why we did that technically, but it'll bore you.
The two different backgrounds?
Yeah.
The very next one.
Guys having a good old time up there.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we ready.
Well, they've been sweating me for the last 20-some years, ever since that day that shit happened. Every other month, they was up there saying, this a rapper killer, you know what I'm saying? I've just been targeted. Just been on my ass ever since. Nobody trusts me.
Why don't they trust you? Because they think you snitched?
Yeah.
You did.
Obviously, that's all studio.
Yes, correct.
You did. Could still go to jail for that. And then they told him, which is what is said right here cannot be used against you. Queen for a day.
So in this clip, it's sort of the last clip, but now you've led into and cut some of the proffer.
Correct. Yes. This is where we first introduce it.
How is that not the ultimate bait, though, to get motherfuckers to talk about some shit that they can incriminate? Like who still trusts this queen for the day proffer type of agreement? That shit is that not a trap?
And so I'm getting the sense here that before commercial, you kind of lead off, and with commercial, you remind people what they just saw.
Yes.
This guy is way too happy up there.
Next one.
Oh, they got the clips ready.
Don't bullshit me, I won't bullshit y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That one's completely.
Don't bullshit me, I won't bullshit y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That's the profit. We tried to identify it up top so that people would know the difference.
Look at Keefe's face, B.
Yeah, you guys are all at the MGM. You guys go to the fight. Lead us through it from there.
We went to eat. It'd be like the MGM in the restaurant. So,
They just playing the clip.
That's a combination of both.
Correct.
They came prepared. Chopped up the pieces that they
I forgot
needed.
to ask this question. You said you were there. You said Mike Dorsey was there. You said Dwayne Davis was there. Is there any other person in that room as well?
Mr. Davis brought his lawyer,
You remember his name?
Wayne Higgins.
So he had a lawyer with him while doing this with you.
Yes.
Okay. Don't let me get jammed up. Okay, that's the right thing to do.
what's your partner? Me and Zip was together.
Zip, Eric Martin.
They ain't playing no
For the
law.
most part, although I think you hear Greg Caden's voice. Is that
Yeah, a
right?
little bit, yeah.
That's Mr. Davis himself in the interview.
Are driving.
Oh,
Also in studio.
documentary about killing Tupac is crazy, B. Some other point in a different stream, we're gonna have to try to uncover the question how he never got touched. Keefe D. The audio from the prophet when he's editing like the tape recorder up on the screen versus the in studio Keefe D, like doing the in-person narration that he's getting paid for. How did they even get their hands? How did these documentary people get their hands on the prophet audio though?
You said the shots came from the back. Big Dre, Orlando. Who shot Tupac?
I keep it for the code of the streets. It just came from the back seat, bro.
Just came from the back. So there's two people in the back.
That's a mixture.
There's two people in the back seat. How the fuck are you gonna say I gotta live by the code of the streets? There's two people in the back seat. One is your nephew. Yo, we got it's two of y'all we picking up. We got one gun. Whose gun is it? All I know is it ain't mine. People say that's a form of snitching. How the fuck are you gonna say code of the streets and it's two people in the back seat, man? What are you talking about? You should say there's no shots came from the back seat, period. Queen for a day. Continue.
It's a combination.
I mean, honestly, what's your concern revealing who shot Tupac?
Right.
That's my concern.
Yeah.
I don't have no concern. I just won't be saying I'm no fucking rat.
Studio interview.
Yeah, Dre was like, no. And Lane's like, you.
Obviously, the proffer.
Yes.
We'll get a few more left down here.
And what he's also, this producer guy, what he's also doing is he's confirming the validity of the production. Like, oh, it's not just TV. This is the actual proffer agreement audio. This is him in studio actually giving this testimony to me too. He's confirming the validity for them.
Went in the back, it's a hotel called a Carriage House. Got about the car.
I think that's the studio interview.
You have some graphics going on, but that's him in the studio speaking.
Correct. This is the proffer.
And then the last.
So that's a combination of the material we shot here in Vegas with the studio interview.
Sometime after the indictment in this particular case, is there a position change by the people who control the raw footage and intellectual property to what Mr. Davis said?
Yes, but the production company and the network, I think, agreed to provide it.
And were you at all involved in the reasons why they decided to provide it?
I think I lobbied a little bit, but Mike Dorsey lobbied a lot stronger.
That's what I was curious of. How the fuck did
Was
you
there
get
any
it?
particular position that Mr. Davis was taken that caused you, Mike Dorsey, as well as the company to change their mind?
Yeah, I mean, in general, we heard that he said that this was just for show, that he was getting paid, this was Hollywood, this was all just, show business.
The term.
Oh, wait. The Keefe D, is he testifying that Keefe D told him that this is all Hollywood, this is show business? If so, this statement, I'm going to bring it back a little second. This would be a huge statement for Keefe D. If so, if they're bringing evidence to the table to try to show that he self-snitched, hold on, bring that back a little second.
And intellectual property to what Mr. Davis said.
Yes, but the production company and the network, I think, agreed to provide it.
And were you at all involved in the reasons why they decided to provide it?
I think I lobbied a little bit, but Mike Dorsey lobbied a lot stronger to get it released.
Was there any particular position that Mr. Davis was taken that caused you, Mike Dorsey, as well as the company to change their minds?
Yeah, I mean, in general, we heard that he said that this was just for show, that he was getting paid, this was Hollywood, this was all just, show business.
The term scripted came up as well.
Oh.
Was your show scripted at all?
No, and I pride my.
Oh, where is this clip? Somewhere on the internet. Oh, did y'all see that? Oh shit! I said there's a path for this guy. The producer of the documentary that's a part of one of the pieces of evidence to show him snitching that he allegedly. He's saying during the production, he himself said that this is scripted. This is Hollywood. This is entertainment. Oh, this is the prosecution right now that is interviewing this guy, this producer that's up on the stand right now. Is the cross-examiner about to use that and run wild with that?
Myself and making sure that my work meets the strictest journalistic standards. I did not coach him in any way. We had meetings where I generally very brief meetings when he was in the office. So I generally told him sort of where I was going with my questioning, but there was no coaching, no coercion, no, nothing of the sort. It was nothing was predetermined. I never provided questions ahead of time either.
And once you became involved, obviously there are other people you guys wind up interviewing that aren't Shug or Mr. Davis or Mr. Keating or Mr. Dorsey.
Sure.
And any of those people, were they compensated for their participation?
We're not.
So once you came on board, everybody else was uncompensated.
Correct.
Did there come a point in time where you were able to provide a transcript of the actual tapes that were the video tapes of your interviews of Mr. Davis?
Yes. I was contacted by Detective Mon, and is that his last name? Mon. Yes. Somebody had it. And we talked for a bit, and
We got to get to more evidence. That was big. Hold on, Cross. Hold on, Cross.
For you. Let me ask you these questions real quick. So, in terms of what you do for work, you are a producer or a director?
I'm a showrunner is the technical term. I basically run the entire production.
Right. And obviously, when we say production, it's something that would be considered maybe geared towards entertainment value, right?
Yes.
Now, in your career as and is it considered Hollywood what you do?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of what you do, for instance, have you ever had to take a deposition before?
No.
All right. And in terms of what we're looking at here on this particular night, you were the director and the producer of this particular project?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were working for not Entertainment One, but for another company that was a subsidiary of Entertainment One?
Feature films.
Okay, Creature Films. Now, your testimony to us is that, hey, I'm just there. Dwayne Davis shows up for the interview. Is that right?
Yes.
Who reached out to him from your company to do the interview?
I'm not quite sure who did the initial reach out.
Just want to make sure I'm clear here. In terms
He's
of
like, I got the answer.
your work was just only to ask questions and sort of verify the information that you had prior to the interview with Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, yes.
He gotta go after that big piece.
In order to build the series.
Right.
How could he not?
With what you were doing, though, obviously there would have been a team of people with you, right?
Yes.
Now, the series itself, there's an individual that's named in your series by the name of Greg Cady.
Yes.
Who
Greg
was
Kading. He's gonna go after the credibility of Greg Kading, who's now retired. They said he did dirt.
Well, I mentioned him earlier. He's a Los Angeles police detective, and he was a consultant on the project.
Right. So his name's
A
actually.
paid consultant.
I'm sorry.
A paid consultant.
Right. So his name was one of the credits that was in the when you do your credit.
Yeah, yeah.
We see what he's doing. Greg Kading's name was in the paid credits of this documentary. So now he's going to say it was in Greg Kading's best interest to carry the narrative of Keefe D being a shooter or being involved as well. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
That's a great angle. I mean, he's got to make up grounds for what he was doing on when he had Mob James up there. But that's a great angle if that's what he's about to do.
Now, in addition to that, you had mentioned a man by the name of Mike Dorsey.
Correct.
And Mike Dorsey was also somebody who was what exactly?
A consultant.
He was a consultant.
Yes.
And as far as you know, the
Both
two of
things.
them, Mike Dorsey and Greg Kading, helped to write a book.
That's a conflict. Write a book. This is conflict of interest shit.
Yes.
And what was the name of the book?
Murder Rap.
All right. Did you read that book?
Yo, people, we're not jumping out the window. We're not moving too early, but it's testimony like this that shows the door starting to open a little bit. I'm telling y'all.
You want to make a brush?
Sure.
You up to over there?
Mark,
This nigga's fucking scared on the low.
Do you recognize this photograph?
Mhm.
And what is that?
Cover of the book.
Okay, great. Yeah, this time I'd like to move for the admission of Defense Exhibit D as in David.
Any objections, State?
No objection.
For a minute?
Keefe D look a little. Look, Keefe D shaking his head. Oh shit, he's smiling on the low. Keefe D they got one right here. This testimony is greatly helping him. Yeah, don't turn around now, nigga. Greg Kading's book. conflict of interest type shit.
That's the book, correct? Or at least the cover of the book.
The cover, yeah.
Right. And I appreciate you being specific about this. Now, fair to say though, that the book was really sort of the core of what you were doing in terms of the information you received, right?
So we had both Kading and Dorsey as consultants, but I also interviewed other authors who also wrote books, and I read those books as well. So
Great.
it wasn't, in other words, this was not my only source.
Okay. And so can you tell us who your other sources were that you read?
I think there's a book, it was the first one I read called Original Gangsters, which was written by Ben Westhoff, I believe. And then there was another book, and I'm not going to remember the title, by a woman called Kathy. Yeah, I don't remember.
No, the people we care about, not the other
very
books you
seminal
read.
book, West Coast Rap and Gangster Blues.
You can move freely.
He picked up that water. He picking up that water.
You recognize that photograph?
Kathy, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that a picture of the cover of the book by Kathy Scott?
It looks like it. I don't remember what the cover looks like, but yes. Seems accurate enough.
Okay. So now let's move to the admission of defense to Ian Edward.
Any objections, Steve? What was that?
No objection.
Okay, so a minute. Sorry, just in here.
Publishing for the jury. Is that the picture, or is that the book? What other books did you review prior to your documentary?
This is the only three I remember.
Now, fair to say, of course, that you're in the business of drawing people to your work, right? You want people to purchase your work and view your work.
He's using that angle.
Yeah.
Now, in terms
I'm not
of
in the. I'm sorry. Can I amend that?
Sellability.
I'm not in the business of drawing people to my work. I'm in the business of creating compelling television or television.
He's trying to clean that up. Drawing people to your work was a setup.
Different standard.
That was a setup question.
What the difference in standards are?
I don't do. Okay, so the best distinction I can draw is like I don't necessarily do reality television, where it's just it's somewhat manufactured, it's bombastic, it's anything goes. I make documentaries which are traditionally based in journalism. I'm out there trying to get to the truth of something.
So,
And that truth, I believe, is compelling enough to draw an audience.
So in terms of the direction that you have in with the project, in this particular case, there was a direction, right? The direction was we're here to document the rise and fall of the death row record label, right?
Absolutely.
And in terms of how Mr. Davis would fit into the idea behind it, is that it's with the death of Tupac Shakur and the shooting of Marion Shignan.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of what you were doing, though, fair to say that you have a direction. This is where you wanted to go with the project, right?
It's an important element of the story, but
Right.
it's not my final destination. My final destination is revealing the entire story of Death Row Records, which includes this unfortunate chapter.
Sure. And you want to be accurate about what you're presenting in your presentation.
Yeah, to the best of my ability.
Right. And so in this case, you turn to Greg Kading and this other person, I'm sorry, what was his name again?
Mike Dorsey.
Mike Dorsey, for their verification of what was accurate and what was not, right?
Yes.
Now, do you recall a person by the name of Tara Long?
Yes.
Who's Tara?
Tara was the head of E1 at the time.
Okay. And she was involved with the project on some level, right?
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I think she was.
Now that you mention that.
Bringing Keefe in. And I'm not sure how Greg and Dorsey came, but maybe through her, maybe through Creature. But again, they were there before it came on.
Sure. And in terms of Tara's participation, can you tell the jury what contract was set up between Dwayne Davis and the company?
I cannot. I don't know what the details of the contract are.
So you never saw the contract?
No.
And you don't know, you can't tell the jury, for instance, how much money was promised to Mr. Davis as a result?
No, I can only.
See Keefe smiling in the background?
Yes, because I handed him a check at one point, or various checks at some point, and I don't, I think I remember the installments were like in the 5,000s or something. But
Right.
I'm just not sure.
And so, and you had represented to the jury
They think they got him, possibly choking up, lying. Oh man.
before on the state's direct that you believe there was one check, but now you're thinking, okay, it may have been installments of checks, multiple checks, right?
It could be, yes.
And the person that would have the most information about something like this would be Tara Long, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, the terms of the agreement was that he was going to come in, give his interview, and then leave, right?
I'm not sure what was agreed upon.
Now, you did how many interviews with him?
Two.
Why?
Two and the one in Vegas.
Right, but the two that were in studio, why did you do two?
As I recall, he came in to do one, and he was not dressed for the interview appropriately. I think he came in shorts and a t-shirt or something like that. And I thought that he was going to back out, so I asked him to sit down so that we can go through some of the questions. And so we did. And then he ultimately decided to leave, and then chose to come back in a suit and tie. And that's actually the interview that you see the most.
I see. So what he came back in is what was basically requested of him to do, is to dress a little bit better than what he dressed that day.
Yeah, although I think that was his idea to dress
He's
that.
shaking his head like they
in
got
terms
something.
of the first interview, do you have a recording of that?
I don't have a recording. I have a transcript.
Okay. Is that the transcript that was referred to earlier? Is that a yes?
Yes, sorry.
Now, that's all right. And now in terms of your recollection is the next day you come back and you have the interview with Mr. Davis, the one that we're seeing snippets of right now.
I'm not sure if it was the next day, but it was sometime after.
Now, in your presentation, obviously, there is a lot of, I don't know what you would call it in Hollywood, like tones, ominous tones, as, you know, Mr. Davis is walking down the street. That's obviously for some type of cinematic effect, right?
Yeah, we're underscoring whatever the drama of it.
Right, and it's just to sort of build up an interest in whatever that scene is.
Right.
Okay, so the view of Mr. Davis walking, can you tell us where he was walking and why he was walking in the direction that he was being filmed?
The one in Vegas, you mean?
Yeah.
He says it on the clip. He was a Koval and Flamingo, and he was there to kind of walk us through what happened that night.
Okay, in terms of walking us through, for instance, do you film him being exactly in the lane, pointing to the other lane and saying, this is the lane where this happened, this is the lane where the women were, or anything like that? Do you have that?
Don't remember exactly.
So he's standing on the corner of Koval and Flamingo on some corner, he's saying, this is where my life changed.
Yes.
Something like that,
Yes.
right? But in terms of specifics of where it was that everyone was located on the street, did you film him pointing to exactly where this was, exactly where that was, here I was there?
I think we did.
I think what they're doing is they're making a big attempt to destroy the credibility of that documentary being legitimate. When I say legitimate, as far as it being just for sales and scripted and just, hey, we just selling a book, trying to draw attention to a story, versus if it's an account of real life situations that happened. And that's why Keefe is smiling. Keefe is looking like he's getting a lot of confidence, as if he has already armed his lawyer with certain information about that documentary. And now this lawyer is executing it in a way where this testimony is like not lining up with what really happened. Keefe looks way too comfortable and way too happy about what's being set up there right now. At least that's how I'm interpreting all this. I think this is, even at the last, before his cross came up, before Keefe's lawyer came up, for the prosecution side to say what they said, as far as it being scripted, etc. That's like an alley-oop, if you ask me.
Okay, and that would be in,
I don't have that. I don't think we have that transcript.
okay, and once again, you don't have the transcript, you think you did, but as you're sitting here right now for this jury, you can't show that, right?
I can't show it, and I'm not entirely certain. But I would think that if I brought him there, it would be more than just to appear on camera for 30 seconds and say my life was changed.
Sure.
And I do recall being there for much longer than that.
Okay, and once again, it should be captured on film somewhere. It is.
Yes.
Okay, but it's not here today.
No.
Now, in addition to that, your testimony is that you had, there were parts of the video that shows like, I guess there was like a proffer version. You said there was a proffer and there was a guy with a beard. Is that in the proffer?
There was a guy with a beard.
Yeah, there was. I saw a snippet and there was a glance, but it was a guy with a beard and you said it was the proffer. Is it just the audio recording with a backdrop of some guy with a beard?
So what we did was we had the proffer audio. We had the interview that I conducted in the studio, and then we had some recreations where we brought an actor and some actors to kind of recreate the setting of the proffer. And in that, Greg Kading appears. He's visibly in the room, listening to the actor who's playing Mr. Davis.
Oh, I see. So it was just it was like
So
a
reenactment.
dramatization.
Correct.
Okay.
Dramatization.
When you
He's
you're
good.
setting that up, and that's happening. That's Greg Kading's direction, right?
Direction?
Meaning that he's telling you here's how everything was, or this is how the room looked, or something along those lines.
To some degree, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
There are some camera considerations there too.
You know, this is why this guy that's on the stand right now, this producer, he's got no exposure in regards to getting in trouble unless he purges himself, like unless he commits perjury up there, unless he does an all-out provable backtracking lying type of right. It's a very, very low chance that he's up there and he has any involvement to the point where he can get in trouble. I don't think he has too much stock in being a part of this trial at all. But when you do have stock in it, right? As far as like, damn, I'm up here like Mob James and I want to help Keefe D, or I'm up here to testify and put somebody in points of fingers and put them in jail. Many, many times lawyers will coach you into giving very, very simplistic answers. And when need be, or when you have the opportunity, yes and no. Why? Because as you let your hair down and you're on that stand and you're having these, the lawyer's job is to make it conversational. Right. Once they could make it conversational, like, oh, some guy appeared. I don't remember what he looked like. I think I saw a beard or whatever. He knows exactly what he's walking into the murder of Tupac trial with. He's armed to the T. But once he can make you comfortable and you can make it conversational, those one-word answers turn into all out back and forths or discussion. These 2, 3, 4, 5 sentence answers, you're giving more information that can be used and chopped and screwed certain ways. And if you happen to even make a mistake, even if you're not doing it on purpose, and even if you're not a piece of shit witness up on the stand, you taint your credibility up there, even on accident. Even small things to the jury, like, well, I know everything thus far that you asked me, but oh no, for that, I'm not sure I really remember that. But oh, how he got paid? I forget how he got paid. It just starts to create doubt. And they're here to try to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Can you do it? Can you do it? This is looking like a Keefe D day. Like this witness right here. It's subtle shit. There's nothing. What we're watching right now is kind of like art. I'm enjoying this. Like on the low. I know it's not as exciting as the Mob James shit, but we're watching a subtle dance right here of how you could turn the tide for or against Keefe D. And look in the background. He hasn't fucking stopped smiling yet. Why? Because him and his lawyer are in lockstep right now with what's being said up there. Interesting.
Katie was being paid for his work. Now,
yeah, let me jot that down.
Also, at some point, shares with you, I would assume, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that there was a proffer, and the proffer was done in 2008.
Yes.
Now, your project was when again? I'm sorry.
So that,
when was your project? When was
2017 is when we filmed. 2018 is when it aired.
Okay.
10 years later. Like, it's all the subtle type of questions, casting doubt.
And you're hearing this from Greg Kading, and you understood, I was imagining based on the proffer, that there was an agreement that, hey, he's going to give information, and on that information, he was not going to be prosecuted, right? Yes. Was there some?
So now what's the next spin? So that means that I can come on your documentary and hype it up, give you a bunch of fluff and bullshit because I'm under this proffer. So let's juice up this documentary for push and for sales and for promo.
Was there some condition that would, if there was a violation of that condition, would then cause the proffer to be made public?
Objection 1 calls for speculation. 2, legal conclusion. The court's already ruled on the admissibility of the proffer.
What's your response?
Good objection.
It's let me rephrase the question, Judge.
Okay, so I'll sustain the objection and you'll rephrase.
Yeah, you better break his pace up right now. That's like calling a timeout when the other team's on a run. Good objection. I ain't gonna lie.
Let me ask you this. So, in terms of your interview, is that a yes?
No. I'm listening.
I know, but once again, when you say I just have to make sure it's clear for the record.
I'm just listening to the question, so it's not a yes.
Okay. In terms of your recollection, was there a reason why, in your recollection, Mr. Davis could give his information to you?
Like he could?
Objection calls for a legal conclusion.
There's no legal.
Why he could?
Are you just asking if you told him, or
Yes.
Okay, if you want to rephrase a little bit?
Did Mr. Davis? Did you ever find out as to why Mr. Davis gave this interview to you in 2017?
Objection speculation.
Sustained.
Did you at any point during the time period ever know if Mr. Davis had violated the terms of his property?
Objection.
Can you approach?
Yeah, y'all come up to the judge and have this quick conversation over that line of questioning right there. Oh, where's the other piece of evidence that they bring in? Oh, they went to break right here. Oh, they went to break. When you see this on the live days, people, they leave the cameras like on the judge's seat, pretty or like right behind it. They went to break after this. Is he still a witness? Is he still a witness? Is he coming back for a different day? Oh yeah, we need. All right, hold on. Before they go to break. All right, right here. All right, hold on.
Yours, I think is what you're
Position
saying.
was mine, yes.
Okay. State follow-up questions? Defense?
So I just want to share with your last answer. When you felt like something was completely covered, you used the proffer to help you with that presentation.
When I felt that something was not completely covered, yes, I used the proffer.
So not necessarily his own words in the interview, but rather something that was in the proffer recording.
It's the same thing, it's his own words.
I understand, but I'm just saying that the timeline here, you're talking about the interview that occurs in 2017 versus the proffer that was given in 2008.
Correct, yeah.
No further questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Diaz, for being with us. Have a good day. You're
Comparing the proffer versus what he said in the documentary. So, for example, if you got statements in a documentary that aren't on the proffer, it's further leaning towards an angle of juicing up this documentary. I see the angles that I'm gonna move from a 4 to a 4.5. I'm going to move to about a 4.5 out of 10 chance that Keefe D is going to beat this. 4.8. 4.8. I got Durk at a 2.5 or a 3 right now, and we didn't even start. I got Keefe D creeping up right now with the clout angle because there's no evidence. There's no surviving witnesses that with the clout of him doing these interviews and doing these documentaries off of clout. And the misalignment of his proffer agreement versus the things that he said in these interviews, which is why he got jammed up. Because going outside on certain terms of the queen of the day is what you actually can get charged for. So what, you can claim a mistake, charge me for that, but not for the murder, for violating the terms of my proffer based on what I could be saying publicly. I thought I was just making documentaries and making money. Oh, all right. To be continued there. All right. Before I go to BMF, I will say briefly once again, real quick, when it comes to Lil Durk. Normally we lead with Lil Durk. That's the way bigger trial than Keefe D, even though Tupac is mega. It's just Keefe D and the story and this already being something that has been discussed for over 30 years. The Lil Durk trial, he's just a current household name, Lil Durk, superstar. So that's a way bigger trial right now. But today, the biggest thing that happened was there was a juror that gave answers that was, and they're still in this selection. So they're trying to wean everything down to, they started like 80 jurors and they're trying to wean everything down, filter all the way down via the questionnaire, etc., to 16, which is 12 in the court, 12 jurors and 4 alternates, people that can come in case one juror violates, goes home, makes a social media post, says some stupid shit publicly, gets fired, gets relieved from their jury duty or gets sick or whatever. So you got your 12 and then your 4, so they need to get down to 16. But today there was one potential juror in the pool that I believe had some answers to their questionnaire that could have been deemed as like racist. And it wasn't like, oh, these niggas got me in here to try to, in this American court with these niggas. No, it wasn't that. It was a subtle thing that can cause problems later on, obvious problems later on, which was allegedly this juror answered questions saying, or came out and made statements saying, these guys look like the type to commit murder. Well, what do you mean? Is it their tattoos? Is it their look? Is it because they're black? If for nothing else, not racist, at least bare minimum stereotypical. And you don't want that type of juror on the panel. So that person, the judge came back later on and said that person was relieved. Luckily for the American justice system, as well as Durk and his co-defendants. All right. So that was the biggest update today. I didn't see anything that they did make it to around 2 p.m. in the afternoon, which once again would have been about 50 minutes ago their time out there in Cali, and start the trial after jury selection. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't finish today, especially after their mishap, but I'll take a look at the internet, and if so, we'll continue from there. We'll see. But the Lil Durk updates were pretty much around the jury today, so we're not going to get into any paperwork. We're not going to get into any videos or any visuals or anything like that. Let's jump straight to BMF now. Talk about going back, allegedly going back to what you know. Wow. Of course, the spotlight has been on Big Meech. Big Meech was always the big name associated, or the biggest name associated with BMF. He was always looked at as the boss. He's the one that was outspoken on the DVDs back in the day. Ever since coming home, he had the big spotlight on him with 50 Cent. 50 Cent called him a snitch. People dug into the paperwork. Big Meech, Big Meech, Big Meech, Big Meech, Big Meech. He's streaming. He's done streams with people like AB and Dean. You know, he's the most visible. Now, of course, J-Bo, a huge name from the BMF movement. But to hear this, former BMF key player Chad J-Bo Brown charged after 53 kilos of cocaine seized in St. Louis. What?
More than 100 pounds of cocaine is off the streets after a huge
Hey, the caption said 53. News from Fox 2 right here saying over 100.
bust.
And a suspected former member of a notorious drug trafficking organization arrested in connection with the case makes his first appearance in federal court. Fox 2 Chad Mira has more details, including the suspect's alleged ties to a mafia family.
Chad J-Bo Brown made his first appearance today after DEA agents say they seized 53 kilograms of cocaine Friday. Retired SLMPD officer Tommy Sawyer broke the news of his arrest on the podcast Brighter Side of Blue.
A kilo here is a big arrest. So 53 is a huge arrest here in St. Louis.
A court affidavit says last Friday, the DEA searched this home in St. Louis County near Maryland Heights and found the drugs, 2 guns, and other drug paraphernalia.
There's no way you got that type of weight and you're living this. You would have a much more established. This is 100% a stash house. No way a leader or a boss behind that much weight moving around. I mean, unless you're staying super low profile, there's got to be a stash. I mean, that much work there anyway. There's got to be a stash house.
The affidavit said police found luggage and prescriptions in the house with Brown's name on them. When arrested, Brown allegedly had
prescriptions. You was living there? What?
Had the key to the front door. The DEA said this staggering
having a key don't mean nothing, but
amount of cocaine falls just shy of the total.
More than 100 pounds of cocaine.
Total amount seized by DEA agents in St. Louis in the first 7 months of 2026, underscoring the significance of this seizure. Brown is charged with possession with intent to distribute more than 10 kilograms of cocaine.
On his own, too? Nobody else grabbed up in this?
This is not his first time in federal court. Brown pleaded guilty to 1 count of bank fraud in 2024 after fraudulently getting a nearly $21,000 Paycheck Protection Program loan.
He caught a bank fraud charge in 2024 after coming home too? Okay, J-Bo, allegedly.
That case was part of a federal roundup of more than 24 people associated with the Black Mafia Family, or BMF, a prominent drug trafficking organization.
They had the reputation that as much dope as you could give them, they get rid of it.
Sawyer used to be on the DEA task force that took part in a huge BMF bust back in 2005. Brown pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute back then.
In the early 2000s and the mid 2000s, was safe to say they were the largest domestic, if you want to use the word cartel, drug organization in the United States.
Brighter Side. Total amount seized by DEA out of Blue has done multiple reports on the BMF, a group that they said shaped St. Louis.
The cocaine that was coming through St. Louis was anywhere estimated from 300 to 1,000 kilograms a month. And that was just from the BMFs.
Brown's being detained until a judge can make decision on bond. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for 2 weeks from now. Reporting downtown, Chad Mira, Fox 2 News. Out of Blue has.
So ain't no telling about will you even potentially get bond
more than
yet.
100 pounds.
Still early to discuss bond. Judge will see about that later on. Wow. This hit the internet 22 hours ago. 22 hours ago. Look at even how much older he looked. But I mean, freeway Ricky Ross. Imagine like he came home and he jumped back in the game. Like this is how that feels to me. Like major players. But then again, you want to know what we saw that before, people? Sammy the Bull. Now, Sammy the Bull was pretty much functioning within the family as a hitman and enforcer. He did business. He ran some of the businesses. He ran some of the day-to-day operations, etc. He was an underboss to John Gotti, right? But he definitely had a reputation for being a trigger man, okay? But when he came home, one of the things he got back in trouble with was starting up an ecstasy ring. And some of these guys, man, they just connected. They just so connected. They come home, they be in their 40s, their 50s, and 60s. What are they going to do? Work a post office job? I would say, yes, do that. They would say, fuck no, I guess. Right back into the game. Allegedly, J-Bo. J-Bo ain't no small time name. Like this is, if you've ever followed the BMF movement, you almost could say, I get it. Big Meech is more of a popular name, especially from the hip hop side of things, but J-Bo is a big name. And you just got grabbed like that. Did they catch you slipping? Was this a deeper running investigation? If it was a deeper and a longer running investigation, more names and arrests will happen. But to hear that J-Bo from the BMF was just grabbed on that much weight. Talk about sticking to what you know, allegedly, right? All right. Let's do this quick one real fast. We got a Carmelo Anthony update. Will he end up with a new judge, new trial?
Now, there's in this motion for a new trial, the background reports are being released, and the defense is going first, releasing 20 pages now of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history. Carmelo Anthony was dressed in a suit and tie for this morning's hearing, which began with the defense arguing that efforts by the trial judge and prosecutors to combat threats and deal with disruptions actually prevented Anthony from getting an open and fair trial. But bombshell testimony came this afternoon from Anthony's trial attorney, Mike Howard, about Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months.
My first time hearing that. I was just in the middle of shaking my head thinking to myself, okay, you got in trouble before for doing graffiti, and that wasn't presented to the jury. Maybe a small angle to paint that this guy wasn't an angel, right? That's not going to take away him allegedly being murdered by or killed, right, by Carmelo Anthony. They're not going to reverse or give him another trial based on that. But the racial element was always there. Now you guys are going to tell me that he was already him and his father. Well, remember the shit with his father that came out was already that. But to have the son nabbed up in some shit prior as well, KKK spray painted up on the wall. Oh, they would have loved that during trial.
Of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly
had juvenile. It's on public. It's on record. He had juvenile probation behind it.
Told authorities, we did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism. There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school. And in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids. At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, behind our bench was talking wild, Austin reportedly replied, kill that MF. During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May 2024 reveal that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth. In 2024, on at least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage.
How long is your resume, little kid?
During a football game. In 2021, he got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day. But now there's in this motion for a new trial, the background reports are being released, and the defense is going first, releasing 20 pages now of Austin Metcalf's behavioral history. Carmelo Anthony was dressed in a
Wow. Feels significant as shit. I'm sitting here trying to say, like, we don't see people get convicted and get an appeal process is an appeal process. Like, how many people get convicted and then appeal? It's just like you're looking at it like a second event or a second attempt, another chance, hopefully. Hell, on Diddy's team, he had a lawyer that was on his team keeping track of all the objections and all the, I guess, disagreements, so to speak, in the whole entire case, in prep for if things don't go your way and you lose, that you have all your ducks in a row for an appeal. People definitely look straight towards appeal right after. But this right here, a new trial and bringing in the actual victim's resume like that, it paints a whole nother picture. Now, a stabbing allegedly is a stabbing. And then we did see that body cam footage of Carmelo Anthony didn't look too good, and him allegedly being out of place. And when I say out of place, I don't mean as if like a kid can't just walk a schoolyard or what. I'm talking about like whose tent it was, who really is here, who's an op, who's a rival to the school. Those small details, you don't want it to matter for our kids moving around, and kids getting into mischief or disagreements or whatever, and sports conflict and sports rivalries and all that stupid shit that kids go through. You don't want that to result in one death. So I think there's still going to be a cloud that hovers over Carmelo Anthony in this, but we want to still be open-minded, because once you push those racial buttons and we feel like decisions come about not because of the technicalities of what happened, especially if we don't have all of the evidence, all of the testimony from everybody that was under that tent and the actual footage or detail, like there was so much like little scrambled where it's just like, are we sure this wasn't self-defense, right? One's backstory constitutes the outcome of these trials sometimes, just as much as you can say somebody's past convictions. It matters. It does matter. How much should it matter? Devil will be in the detail. I wouldn't mind seeing another trial for Carmelo Anthony at all. And let this kid's history be a part of the trial, because if it had anything to do with the actual physicality that these two guys shared in the moment, it's relevant. The outcome could still remain the same, but it's relevant is the point. I ain't going to do too much. And I want to be sensitive there because a life was lost, and that could have been anybody's child, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. So condolences. But we want all the correct information coming out at trial, and then let the jury choose. That's what we want, regardless of what your nationality is. All right. CB. Chris Brown. Very, very short. We saw this one coming. We talked about this a couple weeks ago too. The young lady that was attacked by his guard dog, and that also won a lawsuit against him for the attack, the vicious, brutal, disgusting attack that seemed extremely, extremely irresponsible on Chris Brown's half, to the point where he didn't even call the emergency. He didn't even call 911 or call for medical help for this person. He called his manager to see what he should do, trying to protect his celebrity at that time. Like, shit, am I going to end up in the headlines for this again? And left the property while this girl's laying in the driveway, getting an almost life-threatening attack. And I'll still say alleged. But he lost the shit. And she comes back and says, now that I won, I want to be able to garnish wages that I'm owed from his tour that he's on with Usher right now. And it looks like she won that. Chris Brown, the ex-housekeeper, wins right to collect cut of Usher tour income. So no tucking money, no under the table, no, I don't got it right now. No, I don't got an album that's selling right now. You're on tour. We can pull from there. No, why not? That's what she just won. Some of the money Chris Brown is pulling from his uber successful nationwide tour with Usher could land in his former housekeeper's pocket soon. A Los Angeles judge ruled she has a right to collect her judgment from what he's bringing in on tour, TMZ has learned. Court docs obtained by TMZ revealed the judge presiding over Maria Avila's lawsuit granted her request to assign money Chris gets from royalties and tour income to her to satisfy the $13 million judgment she won in her dog attack case. We don't need to go much further. They blurted out all these pictures, good for us on YouTube as well. We can leave it right there. I said it before, I'll say it again. We've done a lot of money chasing cases where it's just like this person's out for a check. I didn't want to put a number on this situation because off rip, I was like, this is Chris Brown's responsibility. This happened on your property. This happened on your watch. Dogs are just these vicious dogs. They're problematic in that sense. If I come to your house right now, no matter how close we are, and your dog tears my calf muscle off, you're liable. You're liable, let alone all the marks on his legs, arms, throat, the face. She was almost killed, witnesses said in the testimony of this shit by this dog. It's your responsibility, man. And they're trained to protect this property, which means that they can inflict that type of damage. All right. There was also came out in a trial like, oh, we tell the kids not to go over there with those dogs. Yeah, because they fucking deadly. You know? So I didn't want to put a price on it. I was just like, whatever you go for, this ain't one of those check collect. He got it, so it's probably going to be a hefty fee. But I'm not putting no price on what happened to that woman in this scenario. Chris Brown, like, you got to walk this one, man. He's a problem child, and this one is like, you got to walk that one. And now they turn around and say, well, ain't no delays, man. You on tour, right? Getting millions and millions of dollars. Let's tap right into that. I ain't got no sympathy for Chris in this one. I'm sorry. When we got rope to throw people and say, man, this bullshit, leave that person. We will. I don't got no sympathy for Chris on this one, man. I really don't. That woman could have lost her life. That could have been one of our own right there, bleeding out in the driveway. Last but not least, this is the shortest of all. When this trial starts, we're going to follow it, people. We're going to bring it into our news cycle for sure. The overall situation, the case, how we broke down this guy's going to have a lot of trouble despite Detroit wanted to claim as the defensive player of the year. He's got problems once we saw those pictures hit his paperwork. But after getting his bond denied, because court initially was set to start next week, going for bond when your trial's supposed to be starting a week after, I'm not sure. Let me be careful because you don't want to spend a day in prison. It's shitty in there. But unless you super caked up like that with your bread, if trial starts next week, and if you're not looked at where you're going to have a long trial, like 2 months of trial or a month of being on trial, is it really worth going for bond the week before your trial starts? I say that respectfully, even though it sucks to do a day in there. But that got denied, and now it's saying JR's files a motion requesting to delay his August 31st trial by 60 days as his legal team believes they can reach a global resolution with federal prosecutors. Sounds to me like you're looking for a plea deal. And hey, if you think that that's the best up, because if you and your lawyer are sitting there reading the paperwork that we read, how the prosecution is coming at you, it's not gonna fly. He went on the offensive. He attempted an execution of Ben 10, allegedly. He went anyway. I believe in self-defense 1010%. But what he did after the fact is what they will hit him for. It's just legalities. It's just legalities of how it all played out. It sucks. And sometimes it's like, shit, can I make sure that I don't die in the equation? The law sometimes puts you in a sticky spot. It sucks. But that shit looked like he was in execution mode. And it's not going to play. So if he's looking for a plea deal by trying to push it out 60 days and get their bearings together, can't be mad because it looks like an uphill battle. You want to take it to trial when they got video that they're fitting to play of that shooting in front of the court and then watch you after the shooting, then wipe down the gun and attempt to hide it as if you did something wrong and then leave the scene of the crime. It's just, it don't look good. It don't look good. So we'll see. I want to thank everybody today for all the jewels that came. It seems that like super chats is a thing of the past. It's like jewels is the new game now. Okay, I'm with y'all, but I really, really appreciate you. We got Jay with 10 and the thumbs up here. Got 100 jewels right here from Nova, Marshmallow High. We got Oh No 8161 with 2 jewels and then 100. Got 100 jewels here and a high five from Nova. Of course, Bearded, our member. Once again, even if you're not a member on this channel, I remember a lot of our members from the RBE channel. So you're members to me regardless. With 2 jewels over here and 100. Jay with a makeup brush and 6 jewels. I love the 6 jewels, but I don't know what I would do with the makeup brush. Thank you, Jay. We got Unknown 8161 back again with 10 jewels and a W. And then we got 2 jewels and then 100 right here from I'm Just Tay. Tay's always had a cool default picture too. He's always somebody that I could spot out in the chat, you know. So as for you folks in the chat that have like just letters or whatever, go to YouTube and just put it'll default to a picture that's like the first letter. Like for example, Own. Salute to Unknown here, right? YouTube does that. It'll take the first letter from your YouTube name and default that default picture for you. If you're like active in YouTube communities, especially over here on the Sorry It's True, it helps us all get familiar with each other. Not even just me, but our whole community, our chats on the other channel too. You hit some of the lives certain times of the day. It's like a gang. It's like a secret society. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the RBE channel. You know, so don't be scared to throw a default picture in there, man, so we could you know, make sure we spot them and got them each other way easier in the chat. But I appreciate all y'all, man. I really, really appreciate all y'all today. All right, I gotta make some runs. How many streams during the week do I normally get to say I'm about to put my feet up and go get something to eat? Nah, I gotta run. I gotta hit the block. I gotta run outside, bust a quick move. So no lives tomorrow. And I doubt live Sunday. Matter of fact, I'll go on the record right now and say no lives this weekend, people. We will be back live Monday, 5 p.m. But this weekend, we will get some exclusives up, some uploads and some members only uploads as well, probably on both channels. Okay, so keep your notifications on still for new content, but not lives. Lives, I'll see y'all back 5 p.m. on Monday. Okay, in the meantime, everybody enjoy y'all weekend. And we'll see each other in a second. I got y'all.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
One of the toughest characters ever to bulldog his way
Welcome
into
to the house
your
of. And shout out to them.